Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 5 pre-lab. And this pre-lab, it should be fairly short. I'm going to walk you through some more practice with reporting descriptive statistics and running those descriptive statistics on SPSS. So if you want to watch the video first and then try it yourself or follow along with the video, please feel free to do that. We're going to get some more practice with this also in lab this week before we start our descriptive statistics assignment. So first you're going to log on to Carmen and make your way to week 5, descriptive statistics continued, and that's where the data sets we're going to use are. So for this practice, I'm going to walk you through the descriptive statistics practice with chapter 2 data set 1, and you'll have access to this right now, so if you want you can follow along. The one underneath it, chapter 2 data set 3, is actually with the practice we're going to do in lab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on chapter 2 data set 1. This is what we're going to use. I'm going to download it and open it in SPSS. And with this practice, I have a Word document pulled up too, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how we're going to basically set up the assignment as well. So what I'm doing here will look almost identical to what you're going to be doing for your assignment, just with a different data set. Give SPSS a minute to load. So SPSS is loaded for me. Chapter 2 data set 1 is a pretty small. We only have one variable reported in this data set. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you. So the first thing we want to do whenever we open a new data set is go in and make sure our variable is entered correctly and that it makes sense with what we're going to try to run on this variable. So it looks like we have prejudice as a variable. I'm going to flip over to the data view just to kind of see what we're working with. It looks like it's a score. And that matches pretty well with the unit or the scale of measurement we have entered in, scale measurement. The data type is also numeric, so we're entering in numbers, and it looks like everything is okay with this data set, so we can continue on with what we want to do. So for our single variable prejudice measured scale, we're going to want to run what descriptive statistics? We're going to want to run mean and standard deviation, because with mean and standard deviation, or with scaled variables, we run mean and standard deviation. So how you do this is go up to Analyze, Descriptives, Descriptives. It's going to bring up this dialog box. You're going to bring all your variables, so our single variable, over into the variables box. I'm going to check options to make sure everything that I want is checked off. We have mean checked and we have standard deviation. We also have minimum and maximum. I'm not going to worry about those, but I'll leave them checked off. Hit continue, and then we can hit OK. And that's when our output window pops up with our results. So we have our single descriptive statistics box here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste it into my Word document. If you're using the lab computers, you'll use the snipping tool. But now that I have it pasted into my lab document that I will turn in later, I can go ahead and report what I'm seeing happening in this table. So remember that what I really care about is the mean and the standard deviation. Looking at prejudice, it also gives me the number of participants, the minimum, and the maximum. So I'm going to write one sentence to describe what I'm seeing happening with this prejudice score. So something that I could say to describe this is the average score for prejudice was, well, if I can spell, was an 85. But then behind it, I have to report in parentheses my exact statistic. So capital M, and it's actually should be italicized, space equals 84.70. And then also report my standard deviation, should be italicized, to follow correct formatting, is 12.18. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. And that is my sentence. The average score for prejudice was an 85. And we don't know all of the details about this data set. So we don't know 85 what, 85%, if it was how exactly it was measured. But from what we have, this is what we can say. The average score for prejudice was an 85. Mean equals 84.70. Standard deviation equals 12.18. So this is all you're doing for your assignment. Of course, in your assignment, you're going to have a few more variables that you're going to have to report on. This is just an example. And you're also going to have your nominal and ordinal variables, which you're going to report your frequencies and percentages. And we'll have a little bit more practice with that in lab this week. All right. Thank you very much.